Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mr. Optimistic with another voiceover. We're starting with Thursday. Power cleans below the knee. And we also did these last week, and this week felt so much better. Everything that I was hitting in terms of percentages felt light, felt crisper. Although I pushed a little heavier this week, the whole movement overall felt really smooth, really good. Basically, when I attempted 105, which you'll see in the next clip, it was way easier. The bar travel was so much smoother, and my starting position was more efficient because last week I was all over the place in terms of body position. I know I was talking about that my knees were too far forward, so I was basically fully locked out and I had no more leg drive, and I tried to throw my shoulders back to kind of compensate for that. This one, as you can see, a lot more vertical, way more vertical. And in the sport of weightlifting, you really want to be more efficient. So you could, during competition, PR in your final lift. That's the overall goal in a perfect scenario. But these power cleans felt money. Oh, they felt so good. I was so pumped. It's the little victories that kind of get you going, right? And speaking of victories, that wasn't one of them. But the pauses, these damn pauses, dude. These pauses, that was not bad. Okay, that wasn't bad. But whenever I attempt heavier weights, I definitely got to work on the body positioning, because that 110, I think, it really seems and looks a little bit more like a mental thing, because I did like 6 sets right here. Ridiculous. 6 sets. And these all look pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. Some things are just kind of quite annoying. Quite annoying, to be honest. With these pulls felt way better. Definitely trying to maintain that back arch and that consistent drive. That one went a little bit forward. But in terms of heavier weight, keeping the bar close, kind of what I'm motioning right there, is just getting used to that speed and that finish. Because eventually we're going to have to clean that. We definitely have to clean that in order to get to the next level. So it's when I need to start my hips a little bit lower, because as you can see right there, my hips are slightly going faster than my shoulders. So during you'll see some of the videos coming up, but basically during this week I was talking to my coach, and we're trying to start with the hips a little lower, definitely a little lower. But this going into Saturday, we actually have snatches from the floor, easy 3x1 at 88%, and another 3x1 at 90%. We definitely, when we're trying to hit these heavier percentages, no misses. And I miss it. And you just really want to critique and think of it as like a competition opener. That's basically what we want to do, is just kind of mentally you always obviously want to mentally think of yourself in a competition environment, but obviously don't make stupid mistakes like that. You want to get that consistent leg drive, that consistent drive up, and try not to walk around a little bit, kind of like that last one, right? But we go back to the hang clean. So what I kind of figured out, these hang cleans, the hang cleans are easier, from the hang position, right? I'm not sure if you guys have any issues with that, but for me, pausing from the floor, it gets a little interesting. It definitely does, because at least for me, I default, which is obviously a bad habit I need to fix, but I default to driving the shoulders back to get the bar up, opposed to relying with my leg strength, which obviously you're supposed to do. Easier said than done, am I right? But in terms of this, I think this was, let me look up in my notes. Yeah, so these were actually a PR for me in terms of the hang and body weight as well. So these felt really good, really, really good. So we're pretty much finishing off a very strong week, and now we're almost, let me see, we're about a month and 10 days. Wow, that came up quick. A month and 10 days away from my competition. So everything's going well. We're deloading pretty soon, which is great because personally I love deload week because that's when obviously the percentages are lighter. Or at least I feel quicker, stronger, snappier, and I just kind of get really cocky because everything seems and is typically really strong, or at least feels really strong. Obviously because, lifting like weights and things like that, but I love it. Deload week's my favorite. But going into this week, we're doing, should it be a surprise by now, right guys? Snatch push presses, and we're doing about 80% here. So again, we're working on that consistency and lockout position, right? And just staying completely vertical, going down to that overhead squat. And to be completely honest, sometimes when I'm doing these 80% percentages, they feel, I almost get like a little apathetic in terms of like, wow, this is pretty easy. This, kind of almost lulls you into a sense of cockiness, for lack of a better word, because obviously these percentages are easy, or at least should be not so difficult if you're actually going off of your accurate numbers, right? So this is kind of the truest example of grinding, because with some of the programming, right? Not all programs are created equal, but with this one in particular, we do have some of the same movements, but different reps, different sets, different percentages, things like that. It's easy to lose focus sometimes, and that's the part where you really have to dial it in, because that's when you either make some of your common mistakes, or you push through and kind of make some breakthroughs in terms of like, oh wow, I didn't do this last week, now here's my chance to clear this up, right? So I feel like this week was a real big improvement in terms of the push presses, and the actual no feet snatches felt really good too, and kind of retuning these power snatches. These felt a lot better, but the wrist is still having a little trouble snapping in tandem with my wrist that's not healed up, right? But progress is being made, definitely being made. Now I'm basically refocusing on just kind of a little more weight. I'm fluctuating between 202 to about 205, and now I just kind of have to clean up the diet a little bit. Nothing too crazy for me personally. I just count calories. I don't eat anything without a label. If I go out to socialize, I have the good old screwdriver. Low cal, gets the job done. Not too many. Not a really heavy drinker as it is. But in terms of these snatch pulls, felt really good. Positioning felt good. Speed, getting vertical felt really good. And again, I mean, obviously I'm going to say it like 20 million times, but this whole week felt strong. So strong. So going really confident into the heavier sessions. That's going to be next Saturday. Well, it's going to be Thursday. Today I'm doing this on Thursday, but it's going to be Thursday and Saturday, which are heavier days. So feeling really good about that. And coming to the end of this lovely video, just want to say again, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. And again, if you need an extra pair of eyes, my DMs are always open. You can follow me on Instagram at King Darius, 89 kg, and willing to help. I love this sport. I can't emphasize that enough. And I love seeing people get better week by week by week. And who knows? Maybe we'll compete against each other soon. I'll see ya.